I'd like to call on Bob Leave to talk about his family, introduce the members of the family in the center of the room here. Come on up, Bob.
These are Andy's ashes, one of four, which are being spread under the avocado tree on our house in Brook Street, on our father's grave up at Forest Lawn, at our childhood home in San Marino where we were raised, and the last one's going up to Teton Valley where we spent many summers at a ranch up there. So Andy's being spread to all the places that he really loved in his life, and we're thrilled with that. My brother was many things, and an amazing guy. He wasn't such an amazing guy when he was little, but I think of him as my little brother, you know. So, but he went on to do many, many things that we were very proud of. He being one of the earliest self-drivers of a car, licensed. The backstory to that is I was the one that had to teach him how to drive. And that was not so much fun. But he got his license. His vans didn't last very long, but that's okay. He loved the independence of them. So I could go on for, days of all the little anecdotes of his life, which has been certainly busy and fulfilling, but probably one of the most unique things that we were proud of is he received a couple of awards. One of them recently from the city of Laguna for his work with disabled people. And a while back he got a presidential citation, which not too many of us can say we ever got a presidential citation before. So. But he was very excited and very proud of this, and he flew back to Washington to receive the award from then President Bush. And he arrived in Washington a few days before the ceremony at the White House, and so he got to be tourist for a little while. And on the morning of the day he was to be presented with his citation at the White House at 10 o'clock, he was down early in the lobby of the hotel, and all of a sudden people started leaving the hotel in droves. The date was 9/11, 2001. So he never actually got the award from Bush. We don't know where he was at that day. I think at a kindergarten somewhere, but anyway, we're certainly proud of him. We're proud of the story that went along with that. So during Andy's life, he's had a wonderful family support network. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce, I'm not going to do all of them, there's too many of them here. But I will do the blood relatives kind of in the order of closeness, I guess, to make it easy. First off, his niece and my daughter, Mindy. Raise your hand so you can say that. Next would be his nephew, my brother's son, older brother's son, Dan. In order of seniority, our cousin Sherry from Washington, our cousin Maureen from Idaho. Maureen, where are you? There you are. And our cousin Karen from Washington as well. I got everybody, right? We have an adopted sister, which I don't need to. She's not really blood, but she's adopted. But she is our only sister, so she's very special to us. Yolanda, the purveyor of the small salt shakers. Anyway, I could probably go on for a long time about all of Annie's anecdotes in his life, but one of the things we would like to do is to, one of the things we've already done, is to take a lot of the things out of Andy's house now. They're all on the back wall there that you can see. They're all pictures of Andy with people and or artifacts, knickknacks, etc. that he's collected over 40 years. which the family feels it would be best to try to return them to the people that he's worked with over the years here in Maguda. So all of you, please help yourself to anything on that back table there, except for the big poster board. I think we'll keep that one, but other than that, that's all for you. We appreciate that. So, and we thank you very much for coming to celebrate his life. It has been an amazing life, that's for sure. We're all very proud of him. Thank you.
In 1966, and I want to tell you this story because it's helped me a lot. In 1966, on New Year's Eve of that year, Dan, his brother, and I spent New Year's Eve in the hospital room with Andy. Andy was so sick, he had a terrible fever that they put him on a sheet or a pad that was filled with ice water trying to bring his fever down. That was the first time I saw him so sick. Over the years, and we were very close, and at one time Andy lived with us, and I saw Andy so sick so many times. And I learned after a while that Andy would will himself back. He would just, I cannot tell you the number of times doctors said, are Andy's papers in order, or Andy's things in order, because they didn't expect him to live. And every time he willed himself back. This last time in the hospital was different. I knew that he couldn't will himself back. And my eyes were filled with tears. And he looked at me and he said, Yolanda, don't worry. I've had a very good life. And after the surprise of someone in Andy's condition saying that, I realized it was absolutely true. Andy had a good life. And I know that part of the reason is because of all of you here.
I'm Caterina Freeman, and I graduated with Andy from UCI in 1981. So I've known him for many years. And in early December, I was sitting in meditation, and I'm a long-time meditator, so sometimes I see things. And from the corner of my eye, Andy wheeled his wheelchair into my line of vision. And, being surprised, I just said, well, hi, Andy. And he looks at me with this wicked grin. I mean, he looked really happy. And he stands up. And when he was in the wheelchair, he had his body as it was, after 52 years of being a quad. But as he stands up, he morphs into this cowboy. He's got cowboy boots on, he's got the shirt, and he's skinny. He's really tall and really skinny. And he has this hat on, and he takes 2 steps, and he leaps on this horse. And, it wasn't silver, but he turns around and he, what do you call him, when they rear the horse up in the air, and he had a hat, a cowboy hat, and he looks at me and he goes, hi-ho, trigger, away, and off he goes. And every cell of his body vibrated with such joy and such freedom, a sense of freedom, like after, you can imagine being trapped in that body for 52 years. And off he went. So I want to leave you guys with that vision, because every time, I think about the sadness, because he was a great man, not just a good man, but a great man. And to see him moving on to the next, level to the next place with such joy. I want to thank you, Randy, for everything that you did, and blessings on your way. Thank you.